from Chennai. I think there is a sports football coach federation is called Sai, some club. It starts with Sai. The coach name is Sugumaran. Quite some time he was being his coach for Tamil Nadu football team. So he came to my native to pick up some football players. During my, I think I was studying higher secondary. So we compete in the matches, and in fact, I was selected for a camp. The camp took place in Tirunelveli. Yeah. So from my native, there were almost 5-6 people we were selected for that. And we went there, 1 week, very tough trainings. A fine day, they have shifted our accommodation from one place to another place. And the early morning, we couldn't get up on time, and we had difficulties in easily finding out the toilets and all. So we were late in the ground. So the coach has given a punishment that we have to dive from one corner to another corner. So most of the soldiers were, a lot of scratches took place. Then we 3 or 4 people, we ran away from there. We didn't continue the coach. At that time, I still remember, there were 2-3 juniors. They were not good players like us at that time. But they have continued the 1-month coach that came. Now, and after that camp, 1 month camp. Okay? I have been playing from my 10th year onwards, but those people very late, they were not playing well, but they have attended that 1 month coaching with full heart. From that moment, they became a professional players. Now today, one guy is in Navy, one guy, 2 of them now in Accountant General here, AGS. So I missed an opportunity. So coaching will fine-tune your gaps. A book may not fine-tune your gaps. A book will give you some inputs, but how far you are going to implement whatever it is written in the books, it's a question mark. When you are accompanying with a coach, when you do a practical implementation, where the coach will find you. So the coaching is very, very important in life. And the second aspect, during my PG, which I missed, then my PG, I had a coach. My post-graduation had a coach who changed my lifestyle. That's why I am being here today. So coaches need not be from domain.
Yes. Thank you for validating that. And, it's always, domain agnostic, because, what I feel is when the person doesn't know much, there's a lot more curiosity, and then they're asking you more powerful questions. And that probably is opening up different perspectives. And thank you for sharing and, validating and your football experience with this. Thanks for that. Ganesh, to you, what has been your experience of working with a coach, and, has your organization benefited? And how do you think coaching has contributed to high performance, like how the author claims?
My experience, I would like to now narrow down to my experience in working in Global R&D Center Asia, where we assigned a coach for 15 people in 2019 after the COVID. So since R&D people, they are more egocentric than ecocentric. They are more wisdom driven. They believe that out of the entire world, they know everything. So it's very difficult to break the mindset of the people. A coach with a management background, we assigned, and people were clueless what is this person is going to do. The first discussion, many people had a difference of thoughts. The management is trying to corner us, understand our difficulties or something. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to, this is a very, very proven case study. Out of the 15 people whom we have given the one-on-one coaching, the coaching session will be for 1 hour. One day only 4 people will be met by the guy. And he will be there for 1 week in the campus. And after around 3:30, we will not even see the people. But the significant difference came. Every month the session started happening, and I could see that we could retain 89% of our workforce. I am not saying 100%. Out of the 12 people, I think one guy left, and he left and he communicated about his resignation to the coach rather than to his functional lead before taking the decision. And it was very, very personalized, family-driven decision which nobody was even aware. The coaching started with a professional journey, and the kind of confidence this gentleman was having, he shared a lot of his family-related issues. So probably you can see that's kind of an openness have come. And that too, in a stage in which a plethora of roadblocks were there, and it has become a gangway, or it is very, very easily communicated to that extent. Second part, the 13 people identified 32 projects in the organization. You can see lot many improvement projects or innovative projects of R&D as visualized, experienced, implemented by these gentlemen. Many of the people, they have gone to the next level in terms of their designation. I could not even see a single individual who was not promoted during the course of the exercise. Definitely it will happen. Why? Because we will be identifying such kind of a people and we will grow them. This third part, if you look at the benefit of coaching, there were a lot of people or the department dynamics, especially whenever you have a problem. Now, the easiest way what you can do, you can see, you can implement in your company also, make a CFT, cross-functional team. Actually, it is not cross-functional team, it is confusion building team only. Because neither the chairman, neither the members, they are not aware what is that they are supposed to do. They made a CFT approach. The CFT was functioning. The CFT will be there, but the control will be with the concerned department head only. There is a beautiful word called empowerment. It only happens in dictionary. But in practical reality, the manager will not allow this person to take a decision even if he nominated that guy to the CFT. So any decision needs to be taken, he will not openly communicate in the forum. He will discuss and align with his manager, and then only he will say yes or no. This was the culture which was prevailing. We understood the reality. The coach was instrumental in identifying the issue. After 2 or 3 months of time, there is a lot amount of change has come. I am not saying the entire team has changed, but the synergy built between the team. And especially, sorry for using, many times the issues which is happening between the people is nothing. It is a mere communication and ego. This is my last example. I was being asked to make a talk in one of the pioneering institute in the management field in India. And once my speech was over, I was invited to the dean's room. And I was in a very eloquent mood where he is asking a lot of questions. And finally, he asked, and I was also thinking some questions in my mind. Because my HODs are not speaking to each other. I could see a lot of islands. I could see a lot of, the dysfunctional teams. Especially the second level, they are having a very good relationship in terms of their age or friendship. But when it comes to the top, there is a lot of this Xylo approach is there. So, but I never anticipated, the question asked by Dean is he asked, none of my professors or department heads are not speaking to each other. So can you elaborate your experience? How do you handle such a experience in a cultural context in a company? So ladies and gentlemen, the issues, the problems are common in nature. Whether it is industry or academia. We are all bounded by a toxic called carbon dioxide. It is not carbon dioxide. Today, jargon dioxide is very, very important. People are bounded by a lot of jargons. They want to give various models. Make it simple. The coaching exercise will not speak about any jargons. The person is always talking about the simple example. How do you relate to your life? How do you relate to your day-to-day job? Don't think too much of things. Think about a NASA scientist. The coaching really works there. He doesn't know what is going to happen. Maybe in 2030 or 2015, the project is going to make it happen. This guy would have retired. So that is what the important essence of life I want to talk about. The purpose of coaching makes the difference. Because he never thinks that this is going to happen in 2015. Why I am working for this project? Because he is concerned about the ultimate result. If that ultimate result is communicated to the person, it worked. It really worked in my case. And the flip side of the story also I will tell you. We have assigned some people who are very notorious. We want to change their behavior, habit. But ultimately, the coach got changed to coachee style. That also happened. So there are instances which that also can. We will say in reverse mentoring, no, that can happen. Because he had a big fight with the coachee and finally he said, that sort of an experience can also come. So unless and until, if the need is not felt by the coachee, never ever do this coaching exercise just to take a employee development exercise HRS completed, the coaching mandates I have achieved. So the purpose makes the difference.
Beautiful. Very, very well said, Ganesh. Thanks for sharing the real life examples. Yes, definitely that deserves a round of applause. Yes. So yes, the beautiful impact it can bring is a change in behavior. And like how this book of the $1 Trillion Coach, it says, you coach only the coachable. So unless the person is ready and, thinks it'll add value and there is a purpose to it and a meaning to it, otherwise it doesn't work. So thanks for highlighting and, connecting all these dots and then, giving these real life example. Thank you so much. Shajit, to you, what are your thoughts on feedback? Now he's, emphasized on the importance of feedback and, the framework and all that he shared. So how should a good feedback look like? And, do you have any real life examples to share with us on that?
If I start from, because all my replies with my practical experience. So you want similar thing?
Yeah.
See, the feedback, when you in an organization corporates or you are going to take an assignment corporates. So everybody talks about SMART, yeah. So your goal should be a specific, measurable, okay, realistic, and agreed, and time framed. So when the coaching takes place, during the process of when the coachee is giving coaching, there will be a learning from the coachee, and the coachee has to practice these learnings into the field. And there will be a feedback session in between the coachee and coach. See here, the feedback should be during the implementation part. Every organization also, during the implementation part, we will have a lot of lockings. For example, as Ganesh said, the functional manager will agree for his goals, and he will not support. And he will not give a space if an employee wants to practice something, he will not give an opportunity. So the feedback, according to me, is the first thing is the leaders or the functional managers should be given a target of developing people. Nowadays, no companies, always they're talking about their personal achievements. So if you see KPIs or key performance indicator or key result areas, nowhere it is mentioned that it's developing people. So when you mention the developing people, then the functional manager obviously will have the right rhythm of developing people. So he will have a right approach to give open feedback. Very transparent, very transparent. And sometimes we will have a plan, our own plan to achieve the target. Sometimes it's failed. Yeah. In today's world, lot of ambiguities. Lot of ambiguities. You think it over the recent past, coronas and all. Yeah. So, as far as feedback concerned, the leader should have the obligation to develop the next level of people and should be very transparent in communication.
Nice. The transparency part is something that is really essential. So that's very nice. To you, Ganesh, your thoughts and experience on the GROW model. Because GROW is such a popular model, and I'd like to pick your brain on that.
It's a very unique model and it has been talked about a lot. I would like to summarize. He is talking about the goal and the reality and options and will. Goal part, many of us fix the goal. As you rightly said, January 1st you can see a lot of people fixing the goal. And many people are wearing Apple iWatch, Fitbit, just to show that I value my health. But the reality is that 70% or 80% of the people, they are looking at the watch only to see the time. Because the moment you get into inside ECG, blood pressure, all this will create another confusion and it will again shoot up your blood pressure. So make it simple and very, very straightforward. So fix a goal which is attainable in nature. So what I am trying to say is that Tim Galway, there's a famous author, he was actually talking about the coaching and he was narrating one example where the team was practicing the football. Many times the people will say, watch the ball. Watching the ball, it is a very, very difficult process. But if you convert the word, instead of saying, watch the ball, how many times the ball crossed the fence? How many times the goal passed through the goal post? If you communicate like that, the interest level, the curiosity to watch will change. So many times when we fix the goal, weight reduction is our goal. But first take a target. I will not eat sugar. Reduce 1 kg at least 1 week. Give that minute thing, it will be interesting. Many of us definitely will be having children at home. If you try to make him study or make them according to our wish, it is very difficult. So first we need to understand their psychology and in their manner we need to communicate, then only it will work. So that's what the reality part. Reality is what is the potential problem or the real situation which is happening. If you look at many of the training program happening in our company, communication skill, we will nominate everybody for communication skill program. But there will be some guy who will be very good at communication. He will be at a 4 level, at a 5-point rate. There will be a guy at 2 in a 5-point scale also. So that is what the common myth of training itself is changing here. If you look at the one size fit all approach is changing. Today the coaching and mentoring is emerging. Why? Because we need that personalized, that hyper personalization. How to bridge that 2 to 4, that is what is happening. To understand, we need to understand the reality. Instead of nominating him for communication skill program, identify in communication skill where he is lacking, where it is vocabulary or his accent or his confidence level. Third point, options. Many times we identify that, before that we jump into options. And coaches are very good, they will tell you this is the medicine that you have to go or this is the training program you should achieve. Give him 70, 20, 10 options. This is a very famous model. And none of the classroom training is going to gain any benefit. 70% the on the job, the thing that you do is going to give a good result. 20% you observe and do. 10% only you will remember. The average retention of any training program is maximum. Any idea? It is 10% and maximum 24 hours. It's very difficult. The last one, that is why the author has made a big change. Many people will say way forward. What is that I need to do? But he made a wonderful W, which I like it. Will. That will makes everything possible. From an impossible to I am possible. So that is the wonderful thing that he talked about it. And you can say he has been talking about that model in many of the chapters. There are lot many other models are also there with respect to feedback on this model. But remember, G is goal, R is reality, O means option, and W makes the difference, will.
Super, very, very nice. Thanks for summarizing that. And I really liked what you said on the reality part, and especially because, like you said, the coach deep dives and, understands what the root cause is and, brings about the necessary behavioral change. So thanks for touching upon that. So very quickly, can I ask one more question? So go to, okay. Audience questions? Okay. That is why I was asking. Okay. Shaji, this question is for you. It says, in a global organization like STAL, how do you adopt coaching methodologies to align with diverse cultures and leadership styles across different regions? It's asked by Inia from Trichy.
The coaching culture at STAL. Okay. The first thing is, we have done a customized program. Okay. First, we wanted to give a particular learnings to our employees, and it's on last year. It's on leadership. Okay. So we did a customized training for our company, and where it was a 6 days program. And the entire 6 days program, it's not all together, 2 days and three sessions, 3 pieces we had. So entire 6 days program, our MD and our chief finance officers, they were part of that. And before the training itself, we made it very clear. Why? Because after this training, our objective was to coach the employees, the participants, to grow whatever the simulations or whatever the findings we have, whatever the learnings we have, the learnings which we are going to implement it. While implementing, the top management support is very, very important. Otherwise, we cannot do that. So we did this training for purely on, example, Salesforce, where we have identified a new market where we can force, a new product portfolio where we can go. So where during this training program, the employees itself, the participant itself, they have identified strategic way of working. Then, in front of the MD and CFO, we had simulations. Some of the projects, when the participant recommended, the MD said, no, this is as per our global norms, we cannot do this particular chemical which is forbidden. Yeah? And CFO sometimes says that no, if we use all our equipments, our 20% of operation capacity we have, if we use all this 20% of operation capacity and with this less margin, we cannot. So we had lot of simulations, and everywhere MD's point and CFO's point we have taken into account, and finally we have concluded we had almost 6 teams. For 6 teams, we have given a strategic program where the MD and CFO, most of them agreed. And thereafter, we have prepared a blueprint where the trainer had a periodical review once in a month, which was in teams. And believe me, that moment in our company, STAL, we have decided, going forward, no more mere just classroom sessions. Purely customized, coaching-based training only will entertain. So this is my experience in STAL.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that and the impact that the coaching has brought about. Thank you. Ganesh, this question is specifically for you from Rahul from Chennai. He says, as someone who has grown within the organization from a trainee to a leadership role, what coaching strategies helped you navigate the journey? And what advice do you give young professionals to apply?
To be very frank, I didn't get any big coaching. I was in a river where it was a simple flow. But I do have lot many mental resignations. Sometimes life will not give whatever that we aim for. The organization also, sometimes you expect something. That time, there will be a person whom you can actually get support. So he will understand, like Hanuman. We don't know our skill, no? Somebody will appreciate and then you will grow like big guy. So, in my entire journey, many people asked me, 23 years in HR in one organization, you have any psychological issue? Last week I was addressing in a Coimbatore chapter, one of the new generation college student asked, how do you make it? Then I said, I too have mental resignations. Many times I plan to resign. But Monday morning will give some sort of a motivation for me to, I think, eradicate all those things and move forward. So leave alone, the advice that I would like to do is that, see, there will be a lot of challenges will come. Identify somebody who can seek and get support from within the organization and outside the organization. It is not a mentorship. It can be a coach or whatever name that you can qualify, or these are very, very new generation words which has come. Earlier, if you look at, there was no such kind of a terminology was there. But the fundamental philosophy that you need to do, like Arjuna, you need to do Sashtanga Namaskaram to that particular individual. You should not never think that I am a guy who is having gold medalist in human resource management. I am from such and such institute. I am from this aristocratic family. I am working with this organization. If you bow down, the Kavaja Kundalas that you are having, the designation, the hierarchy, the CTC, the number of span of control people whom we are reporting, to an individual who can be a superior, who can be a person from another department, who can be another thing. So instead of relying on a coach, copy the role model behaviors. It can be from a peon, it can be from a security guy who is standing in the gate. And relate yourself. I think that will give many fruitful benefits. Of course it is needed. It will come to a certain stage which it will not allow you to particularly grow. That time you seek a honest feedback. But don't ask the coach. I got a fantastic Harrison assessment report. With a lot of joy, I took it. They have given me strength, weakness. And I said I spent around 10,000 rupees for getting this report. With a newborn baby, with a lot of enthusiasm, I told my wife, this is the book. And you see, she, within one sentence, she killed the entire enthusiasm. You spend 10,000 rupees to understand the weakness which is written in the report. You should have asked me. This is what I was been telling for a long time. After that, I started asking my son about my behavior, the feedback I used to collect. Genuinely I'm saying. Recently, 2 years back only I started because of the Harrison assessment report. So take feedback from the people, not from the coach itself. Definitely, coach will guide you with that feedback. He will suggest which method or which route you can go. But ultimately, I said, I am from a mobility industry. You have to drive. And whenever you are driving, ensure that you are driving a car which is fitted by Apollo tires.
Good brand management there. Very, very nice. I love the part about what your wife says. The wife is like Google. Wife always knows everything. It's a very interesting question. Shaji, this is for you. It says, with AI and digital transformation reshaping HR practices, how do you see the role of coaching evolving in future workplace? Can AI be your coach?
AI, of course, I agree with, AI will be coaching the future HRs. But HR will become only an implementation part. So, AI will advise us. So HR will implement. Again, while the implementation, AI will give monitor it. Again, it will give a feedback. Again, we will become implementation. So while implementing, the human touch, developing people, again AI cannot do, which will give informations. And developing them, it's our part. So I agree, AI is going to coach future HRs.
Thanks. That was from Jyotsna from Salem. Anything you want to add on the AI part?
I have done a big research on AI. So sorry for... see, if you look at AI and ML, AI should replace AI. ML should replace ML. I made this statement. 2 days back, I was invited as a speaker in my own college after spending around, I think I left in the college 2003. This is the first time I am going there. So basically what is happening is that, how many of us really feel happy when you are very starving and you have ordered something in Swiggy, and that beautiful app will say, restaurant accepted the offer. Then that bike will go, it will go to some other direction, you are waiting, again will say, your food will be delivered in 5 minutes. Then this guy will go to some other sandha, then again you are waiting. Then immediately one message will come. Finally, when you are about to reach your doorstep, it will go back. Because some navigation problem has happened, he will say that some problem is there, now we cannot deliver. The thirst or the hunger is very difficult. You have been waiting, nothing has happened. But ultimately, this is what is happening. Many a times, this is making us life very easier. But how to utilize those information is very important. So AI can give you information. To convert as an insight is the job of our HR professional. It will talk about n number of things. Oh, this guy, he's a red category employee, he will resign soon. But all of a sudden, one green fellow will come and he will tender the resignation. Mostly. Why? Because the manager is not connected with that individual. So that is what artificial intelligence should not replace actual intelligence. And machine learning should be replaced by motivation and right leadership. Unless and until you have a good connect with your people, all these resources are going to be in a problem. Watch Yandiran 2 or 2.0, you will understand yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that. And I think we've already exceeded the time. So over to you, Group Captain.